Good evening, good evening, good evening. Um, so the reason for this live. Yesterday, I came across a video that Tammy Roman had written or had done on YouTube, and she had entitled it "What You Say Again, Sis?" Or what? She was calling out Monique about the bonnet discussion. And some of you may be aware that I posted a picture with a bonnet to represent in support of Denasia Jackson, Kevin Jackson's, I'm not Kevin Jackson, Derek Jackson's wife. So I hate when my ring light shows in my glasses. Right there. Right there. So I'm sorry, y'all. So I saw this video from Tammy Roman. I had not seen the video from Monique. So that prompted me to go search for the video from Monique. And when I saw the video from Monique, I agree with her. I understood from being, like Tammy broke it down so eloquently, being a woman of a particular age, there were certain things that we were taught, right? So I understood exactly where Monique was coming from, and I felt that she really was coming from a place of love. During this reflection, I also recalled just days before I had done a post on Facebook, which I hadn't done in a while. I don't post often. And I shared with my peeps that I'm learning to mind my business and stay in my lane. And it's tough, particularly when you feel that you can help someone, encourage someone, protect someone, keep someone from going down a path of hurt, pain, wrong, whatever. If you feel that you have knowledge or ability to help, I'm just not one to sit back and let someone that I care about go down that path. Then I recalled just yesterday having a discussion with a loved one of mine. And it all came together for me. And it was very important for me to come and pray that I can touch someone here. So in the conversation that I had with my loved one, I shared with her years ago, right out of college, I was offered a job with a very large insurance company. And this was during the time of the Martin Lawrence reign. And so I have my little short suits, and I wear a 32, 34 inseam. I have very long legs. And so I wore a short suit on me a short suit on an average person is even shorter on me because my legs are so long. So the appearance is that the suit is shorter. But I wore my suits like Pam and Gina off of Martin. That's how I used to rock when I went to work. I was business as far as I was concerned. We had a store, John Wanamaker's. That was my first department store credit card. I would go to Wanamaker's. I got my suits. I was professional in my opinion, and I was good. I had a girlfriend that worked with me, and her mother worked there too. So her mother was like a mom to me too. And during that time, I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. But thank God, mom and I turned a corner before God called her home. Glory to God for that. But so this friend and mom, we were close, right? So one day I got on one of my suits and my boss called me into the office. So he calls Tish into the office and he says, now my boss, mind you, was a white male. He was younger than me, but he was a cool dude, right? And he said to me, he said, very nice suit. And I said, thank you. Feeling all proud, right? And he said, I would just much rather see you in it at the club. And I was like, dang. I felt like kind of embarrassed, right? And forgive my appearance. I just got caught in the pouring down rain. I had to snatch off my lashes and my contacts because a baby girl, it was pouring so bad. Baby girl was driving, but she had to pull over. And my eye was so irritated by that contact, I had to take it off. So I have a headband on, need my hair did. And it is what it is. But anyway, so hey, Cola. So I had this meeting with my boss. He told me, I'd rather see you in your suit in the club. He said, can you promise me you won't wear it anymore? And I said, you have my word. And I left out of the office feeling like, darn, why didn't my friend's mom call me in on that? Pull me to the side. We used to say, pull our skirt, pull our shirt, pull your jacket. Why she didn't pull me to the side and tell me, hey, why she didn't pull me to the side and tell me as a woman, like as a mom, she was a mom figure to me. Why didn't she pull me in and say, listen, if you want to be taken seriously and viewed as a professional, then your outfits are not it. However she chose to use those words, I needed that insight from a woman, from an older woman, someone who knew better, someone who had some life experience, and someone whom I respected. That's right. Tell me my slip is showing. That's what I was hopeful. That I was disappointed, and I never told her. And she gone on to be with God as well. But I never told her or my friend that I wish she would have told me your slip is showing, instead of me having to hear that from this boss of mine who was a white male. Like, and he was genius in the way he presented it to me. So I'm going somewhere. Stay with me, y'all. So I'm talking to this loved one, and I had this epiphany, this aha moment, that I now know why it has been so hard for me to mind my business. Because I made a commitment to myself that day that if I could help a younger sister not make a fool of herself, be the laughing stock, be embarrassed, cut herself short from professional goals, whatever it could be, if I could help a younger sister, I was going to do it. And in the words of the great Van Lathan from formerly from TMZ, when he spoke of his addressing Kanye, he spoke of calling him in, not calling him out. And I believe that we as a community have seen a dramatic shift to the left and down to the gutter, according to Judge Lynn. And I like to give credit to people's quotes that I copy. Trying to see, we have to put our crowns on each other. Yes. We need accountability partners. Absolutely. And so our community is suffering because so many have decided to mind their business. We can't afford to mind our business. We can't. Our communities are suffering. When I heard Monique and Tammy, again, I heard Tammy's breakdown first before I heard Monique, right? And I got where Tammy was coming from too. She gave Monique a respect. And in our age group, Monique is like a sister, like sister, friend, auntie, cousin in my head. Tammy addressed Monique eloquently, like no disrespect, but sometimes, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. It's kind of, I think she called it second level shame, or something to that effect. But I have done a video where I said I think that we as a people need a little more shame. Yes. And that is the problem. A comment said, but some of these young girls want to fight though. And you're absolutely right. This is what I told my daughter. I said, a lot of people mind their business because they want to go home to their families. You got these young girls, they wanna cuss you out, mind your business, be who you, da, 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 da. Monique is someone, right? So I start small. We can all start small. We start with people that's closest to us. I have family members that don't speak to me now. And my daughter told me, Mommy, you correct people a lot, and sometimes that may make you come off like a know-it-all or judgmental, when I know that's not what you're trying to do, and I can see that you're trying to help, but everyone doesn't take it that way, and that's true. And so when I said I'm gonna stay in my lane, but it's tough, this is what I wrote in my Facebook post. I said it's tough, but being misunderstood is tougher, right? I'm tired, literally exhausted with loving people more than they love themselves. But then I feel like I owe it to my nieces, my nephews, my little cousins, and the people that live on my street, or the little kids that look up to me when I go back to my high school Give Back Push Forward Day and I grab a mentor, I was asked to mentor. I feel like I have a responsibility. In my profession, I actually had a young lady who was kneeling down at a file cabinet and the whole crack of her butt was showing. Now, mind you, I smelled her on a couple of occasions when she asked me for help, and I never spoke on that because some people in their religion, they don't wear deodorant, right? So I didn't speak on that, but she had became more friendly with me through a platform that I have, and she asked more information about the platform, right? And so because we had connected on that level, I felt that I could give her a little heads up. So I told her, I said, sis, your groceries are showing, and I don't want your boss. She didn't report to me directly, but I didn't want her boss, who would potentially blow that out of proportion, or worse, our CEO, who I reported to see her in that way, right? So I told her groceries were showing, and she got an attitude with me. She said I should have been more professional. Well, I was trying to be nice. I could have said, your ass is out. Excuse me for the language, but pull the pants up. Like, you don't feel the draft? Like, come on. But I want to say here, my goal is to encourage and to uplift women, particularly when it comes to relationships. And that's relationships with each other, holding our crowns up, and dating relationships as well, right? And I don't believe that the people that are in opposition of Monique's statements, I don't believe that they understand that everything in life is interconnected. They're interlocked. They cross-sect at some point, right? And so, for example, my hair, you guys have seen my hair down. This is my natural hair. My hair hangs down. You've seen it when it's curled or it's straight or whatever. I need to get to the hairdresser. She does not have an opening until the 17th, honey. But I'm not going to just walk around looking like anything. I'm going to pull myself together, right? So I had to go to the eye doctor and run some errands, and I had a lot of stuff to get done. So I had to pull myself together for me, My husband wasn't with me. I wasn't doing it for him. So I wasn't doing it for a man. I wasn't pulling myself together for a man. I was pulling myself together for me. And I think the words from my mother was, you never know who you may run into out in public. And I told my daughter, I said, what if you saw Oprah Winfrey and she was like, hey, I'm giving away $1,000,000. Come take a picture with me. Would you feel like you were pulled together enough to get in a picture? You never know who you're going to run into. The day you go out looking busted with a bonnet and some slippers on, you're going to run into your old boyfriend or his mama. They be like, I saw Tish and she looked a mess. Good thing you dodged the bullet on that. Is that what you want said? It's okay to have a level of I don't care, right? So everything in life requires a balance. We have to balance caring too much about what other people think and learning to chew the meat and spit the bones and say what's applicable to me, what's going to help me be a better me, and applying that accordingly. So now I'm going to tie this discussion about the bonnets and the slippers to dating. If you are a single woman and you will come out with bonnet, slippers, pajamas, whatever, there's a level of I don't care that you actually need to reverse if you are looking for a long-term commitment. Why? Because that level of I don't care, it will cross over. There should be a I do care about my appearance at all times. It has nothing to do with a man. At all times, you should care about your appearance. How do you look? Are you pulled together? I have lives on here where I don't have on any lip gloss and I don't have on, no lashes, no makeup or anything. I don't have on any makeup. Actually, I had on lashes and I popped some bronzer on my lids. But you don't have to have a full beat. You don't have to have a unit on or none of that to pull yourself together. And it should be something that women are teaching their daughters. And boom, that's the missing slice of bread. That's the missing piece. There are lessons that Big Mama and her mama, or just grandmom or granny, that they were to teach us, that we were to teach our children, and they were to teach their children. I have relatives that are between the 18 and 35-year-old range that will come outside with a bonnet or scarf and slippers and just not care how they pull together. If I see it, I'm going to speak on it. But there's another layer to that. There are some women or young girls, young women that are struggling financially, and they're struggling mentally and spiritually, that they don't feel good about themselves. And so the concept of pulling yourself together all the time escapes them. I'll pull myself together when something's going on. It's nothing going on right now. Like, nobody checking for me, And then when they pull themselves together, it's usually a little, sometimes risque, a little scantily clad, because now they want to ugh, right? But there should be a balance between, all right, I'm just going grocery shopping, I'm throwing on sweats, whatever. You and I'm good, but I'm still pulled together. And all right, I'm going out. I might show a little cleavage or a little leg. I'm gonna be a little sexy. I tell my daughter I'm grown. I can show a little cleavage, particularly when I'm with my husband. I ain't out here looking. Exactly. When did that become a norm? And I'll tell you, we have a whole generation that was lost because of crack in our community. A whole generation. A whole generation. And when I say, so the generation that used crack, right, they had children. And a lot of those children had to fend for themselves. And now their children have children, right? So now you're into the teens and the 20s and they there's a lot of children, there's a lot of young girls who are now or have at some point had to raise themselves with limited or no resources. I know people who have had no electricity, no water, no food, sleeping in their vehicles. I've seen this. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I remember when my daughter was in Girl Scouts, and I would be the carpool mom. I would pull up from work, say, tell the girls on the block, be ready, hop in the car, we going, right? One of the girls got in my car one day and she smelled like raw cat. The crack cocaine. Yes. That era did a doozy on our community. But this young girl got in my car. She smelled like total cat. Like, I could not believe the smell that her mother let her come outside with. And then when we got to the church where they did their Girl Scout meetings, she looked like she had just pulled her clothes out of the dirty clothes. She had on tan khakis. I will never forget. They were so crumpled and wrinkled and dirty. And I remember going home. I dropped them off and I went home. I sat outside my house and I called her mom and I gave her the business. I said, let me tell you something. How dare you send your daughter it's real. You know what I mean? You said I'm making you laugh. I told her mom, I said, listen, I just took your daughter to Girl Scouts and my car still stinks. How dare you send her to be around other girls and set her up for ridicule in such a way? How do you do that to her? Her hair was matted, visibly dirty. And she was the sweetest little girl ever. She's now a young woman that's 19, 20 years old that just, she doesn't have any gumption about her appearance. Why? Because her mother didn't give it to her. Her mother allowed her to go outside when she was at an age where mom was supposed to be caring, 7 to 15, let's say. At that time, she was probably 8 or 10. No, my daughter was probably 8. So she was probably 12. And mom said, well, you only have one. I have multiples. I said, well, you shouldn't have had multiples if you weren't going to do what you needed to do for them. That's not an excuse to let your child go outside dirty. I would wash my baby's hair with bar soap if I had to before I let her go outside with it visibly dirty. I would wash her panties and clothes out with, say, bar soap, dish detergent, something before I let her go outside smelling like cat with wrinkled clothes. But that's a mother that felt that it was okay. So now she has a young woman that thinks it's okay to go outside with a bonnet. So someone has to tell her. And I said, when I see her again, I'll be the one to tell her. Or I'll be the one to volunteer to get her hair done. And then tell her why I did it. I'm asking God to help me with that. How do I do that? There's groups that I've been in on social media, and I have literally collected money to help young girls with toiletries and school supplies and things of that sort, because that's where my heart is. I'm not coming from a judgmental place, and I don't think Monique was either. Someone needs to say it. And if you get to a point in life where no one can tell you nothing about nothing, then you might as well just go ahead and dig your hole. Dig your 6 feet, because you're not growing nowhere. If you're not already successful, I pity the fool in my Mr. T voice, because you're not going to grow. You're never going to be able to grow if you can't receive correction or criticism. Especially when someone literally, and you could tell that they put thought and effort into trying to deliver a message in a way that was not offensive. We have to stop immediately taking the victim stance and throwing out the baby with the bathwater. For the young folks that don't know what that means throwing away the whole message and not realizing that there's some value in there too. I call it chew the meat and spit the bones. We have to get to a point where we don't just give up on our young folks, but we got to approach them in love. We have to approach them in love, as I think Monique did. That's right. That's right. We all have to remain teachable. Thank you, Cola. You said it. If you're not teachable, I hire people, right? I tell people all the time, I will rather hire a trainable personality than someone who just has a lack of ambition or attitude or a nasty personality. You have a pleasant personality, and you're eager to learn, and I'll train you. I'll show you everything that you need to know. I'll hire you without any experience before I hire somebody with experience that feels like they don't need to know nothing. I know all I need to know. You don't have to tell me nothing. We have to understand that we live in a world now, if you disagree with somebody, you're a hater. This is a social media thing. If you're a celebrity and you disagree, then you disagree and you express it in the wrong way, now you losing your fans and they want to cancel you and all this crazy stuff. It's insane. It's insane. I always say I want to be rich, never famous. I don't need to be famous. But what I am going to do is I'm going to rescind my Facebook post. I'm going to go edit that thing that said that I'm going to mind my business, because I'm not. You know why? Because our young folks need us. And I'm going to approach them. Like Monique said, I'm going to tap them and said, baby, you don't want to do that. I'm going to approach them and test the water. If they got an attitude, leave me alone. I apologize, sis. I was just trying to help, and I'll back off. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Not if you're in my space. I love hard, y'all. I love hard. I see my people hurting, I just want to go on a go. I didn't want to be on Instagram doing this. God put it on my heart that when so many people call me about dating and how they can't navigate it, and what do I think of this, and all the stories I'm hearing. I'm like, this is game, and you don't know that? Like, where have you been? I feel so bad, but my life was different. I grew up different. I had to hustle. I had to partially raise myself. I hung out with the fellas. I speak man. Yes. But I speak man. And so I feel that that little bit of knowledge that I have, and let me be very clear. I am married and I do not always make my husband happy. He is downstairs now probably listening like, yes, Lord, she telling the truth. I'm on his good side today. If I hurry up. But I don't have all the answers. I don't get it all right. I'm not the perfect wife. We're not the perfect couples. We're not couple goals and all that. We're not aspiring to be that. We're aspiring to hold on to our covenant that we made before God. We're aspiring to get over the hurdles. We're aspiring to get beyond the moments where we like, ugh, and then we get back to like, that's my boo. Like India Irie said, girl, you know what he did? And then you get to, girl, you know what he did? That's what we trying to do. But so many people jump out the boot and it's still raining. Like, don't give up, y'all. Don't give up. Monique, I'm gonna tag you. I pray you see this. Thank you for saying what needed to be said. Some of to my young ladies who fall in the category that just don't have the resources and don't have the support. I mean, below the poverty line. Getting a wig or a weave is not in your means. Maybe you didn't learn how to braid. Mom, start teaching your girls to braid. I made my daughter start doing her own hair so she would know. I said, I'm not going to do your ponytails no more. You can do it. Now she can do a ponytail better than me. She was so upset with me when I left her hanging. It was hard. I knew I could help her, but I also knew that she needed to be self-sufficient. She's going to go off to college and you can't do your own ponytail or bun. I'm teaching her now, when you take your hair now, practice cornrowing. Practice braiding. She did box braids herself on her own hair. Why? Because I encouraged her to do that. You don't always have to pay your money, but you need to do enough to be able to pull yourself together. You may not be a beautician. You need to be able to do enough. I can cornrow. I don't feel like it. I got a torn rotator cuff in one shoulder and all this corn. I ain't trying to do that. But I know how. So maybe the answer is start learning how to do your hair for those who are wearing the scarves or bonnets because their hair is not done. And for those who may have their hair wrapped up under there and just don't want to disturb it for whatever it is that they feel that they're doing. Like, I'm not seeing anybody I know. I don't care. Like the airport, I don't care. So who cares? To you ladies that have the means to pull yourself together, to go to the hairdresser, your hair is done under the bonnet, reconsider, particularly if you have the means, because it's a self-esteem thing. It's a pull yourself together thing. It's not a we beating on you thing and here's another thing that women have to do. I'm a woman too. So I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you in. Look your best at all times. I had to tell a loved one in my family, wear a bra. Your boobs hanging down is not attractive when you're heavy. That's not attractive. It makes you look older when you're in your 20s. You have to pull yourself together for you. And once you pull yourself together for you, you also make the connection that when it comes to dating, not the whole beat face and the wig and your edges done all the time and all, not that, but the initial connection with dating is aesthetics. It's an attraction. That man is not going to be attracted to you if your hair is all over your head and you're like, well, I'm just natural and he got to accept me like I am. They ain't got to accept you like you are. They can keep moving, and that's what they doing if you're single. Some of you just cuss a lot and just real loud and out of pocket. Anybody that get with me, they got to be able to handle me. You're not an animal. You don't need to be handled. And don't put God in the box. If you don't believe in God, don't put yourself in the box. That's just who you are and you can't be better. You can be better. You should want to be better. We all should want to be better. So I'm not going to ramble on no more. I just wanted to let y'all know how that thing hit me. I heard Tammy first. Tammy Roman, I got nothing but respect for you. My sister in my head, I used to be you, pop off, ready to fight at the drop of a dime. I was angry for a lot of reasons. Just living life differently. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Monique, I rocks with you like that. Okay, so both of you ladies, I respect your opinion. I just wanted to throw mine in there. I'm not on your level with this social media following, but to those that I can reach, I pray that you would tag a friend, share with a friend, tell a friend about it. Share the message if you're not going to share the video. We should want to call in our young ladies, and fellas should want to call in the young men. Pull your pants up. Take pride in how you look. Y'all remember back in the day, my dad had one pair of jeans. He always wore a hard bottom shoe, some slacks, and a button down. Period. Even the Duralex, think about it. The Duralex of yesteryear, our old heads, they wore hard bottom shoes, slacks, and a button down. They might be on the corner with their bottle, but they pulled themselves together. There's a reason for that. There's a reason, racially, that we can talk about in a whole nother video. But if you think about it, we need to get back to that. For y'all that watched The Shy, look at Ronnie, or he was killed off, but look how he dressed. He was considered a bum. But what did he do? He had on his slacks, his hard bottom shoes, his button down, and his stingy brim. Right? Come on, y'all. That's not all you can be. If you have a little bit, if you only have... I come from humble beginnings. Humble. I had to wash my panties out. I'm not afraid to say that anymore. I was ashamed of that at one point. But my mother taught me when you don't have a lot, you still need to take care of what you have. And you need to present yourself and put yourself out there as pulled together. You don't wear scarves, you don't wear rollers, you don't wear slippers, you don't wear pajamas outside, you don't do hair outside, you don't eat outside unless it's an outside event. That's how I was raised, from a mother who came from the projects. She taught me you do not have to be a product of your environment. And I thank her for that. I thanked my mom so much for giving me book smarts and street smarts. She could have said, well, that's what I saw. They wore scarves and slippers and whatever, so it is what it is. But the truth of the matter is, years ago, they used to take pride in their homes and sweep and clean, and you could eat off the floors. Just because they were in the projects did not mean that they were nasty. That's a newer phenomenon as well. So we need some things old school we need to get back to. So Monique and Tammy, again, thank you for your input. I love your Bonnet Chronicles, Tammy. Check out my video where I have my bonnet on. It's a message behind it. I don't have the bonnet on for no reason, and I wasn't outside. Let's call in our younger sisters. Those of you who are in my age brackets. I'm a woman of a particular age, and when you get to be here, you have a responsibility. You can't just give up on your people. For those that don't want to receive you, then leave them be, but at least try. Okay. So that's my message for today. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Cola, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your thoughts and comments. I appreciate you. Anyone else that's on the live that I didn't see, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for following. Be kind to one another, because you never know what someone may be going through. Peace, y'all.